Hey, what's up, YouTube? Well, haven't made a video in a while, and I got me some new sunglasses. They're pink, so that people can stop trying to say that I'm a man in the sense of being born with a you-know-what, but I don't know. Maybe some people are stupid enough to think that guys actually wear pink sunglasses. But anyway, they're just a cheap freebie pair of sunglasses. And the reason I haven't been making videos in a while is for a number of reasons. Well, for one thing, I don't really care much to talk about the election, although I will start out by talking about the election, which I'm not sure if you can tell, but the TV is helping to illuminate this room because I have it on mute, but I'm watching the election coverage. So, I just want to start out by saying that I wasn't going to put this on YouTube, but I'm just going to start out by justifying why I voted for Trump, even though I don't really have to do that. I'm under no obligation to do that for anyone. I didn't make videos, about why I voted Republican in all the other elections. I really shouldn't have to do it now. But I'm going to justify why I voted for Trump by saying that, well, first of all, my parents, they're about as conservative as you can get. My dad has this saying, I wouldn't vote for a Democrat over a dog catcher. So, although my parents may not love each other anymore, the one thing that they do agree on is politics. They both are about as conservative as you can get. And my extended family, meaning my aunts and uncles, might even be more conservative than my parents. Okay? So, that's one thing. How could I ever, sit down and eat with my parents? Or, in this case, I live with my dad, but then I go see my mom. How could I ever, break bread with them and then go and vote against them at the polls? You know what I'm saying? It's like even if Trump loses the election, or even if I didn't want Trump, let's pretend for a moment that I didn't want Trump to win. Well, even if he loses the election, I still have to live with my parents, and they support him. Okay, so, that's, and that's only if I didn't want Trump. Okay, the truth of the matter is, this is how I feel about it. Okay, I would much rather Trump win. Obviously, I voted for him. Okay, but it's not like I'm going to kill myself or be mad at the world if Biden wins. You know what I'm saying? And that's pretty much how I've always felt about every election. Beginning with, the first time I ever voted was back in 2004 for George W. Bush. This is all deja vu to the first Bush election in 2000, which was the last one when I was too young to vote. Okay, so basically this is my voting history, which, like I say, I should not really have to put this on YouTube, but okay. So the first time I ever voted in my life was, let's say, 2004, okay, when I was 21. George W. Bush's second term. Okay? Then in 2008, I voted for McCain and Palin for the simple reason that they were the Republicans. Okay, they lost. Didn't really bother me, but I didn't like having Obama in there. Okay, then 2012, I voted for Mitt Romney. My mom really liked him. Okay, so 2004, 2008, 2012. 3 Republican votes, okay? Then in 2016, let's see, I voted for Trump. Yeah, Trump is first term, 2016. So, okay, so basically all 4 times that I've ever voted, I've never voted for a Democratic president. The only time I ever have voted Democrat is for the unopposed Democrats. If there's one person running for a position and they happen to be a Democrat, then I'll vote Democrat. Other than that, I won't. Okay? So every single vote I've ever cast in an election was Republican. Okay? Now, let's pretend for a moment, okay? Pretend that I saw the light, whatever the hell that means, and I just thought Trump was a horrible person, which I don't, okay? Let's pretend that I did want to vote for Joe Biden. For the first time in my life, let's pretend I would want to vote Democrat, which this looks purple, but it's blue. Okay? Well, even if that were the case, if I decided that for the first time ever since I've begun voting, I decided to vote Democrat for Joe Biden. Well, there is one glaring reason, other than what my parents say about the Democrats being socialist and how my dad's no longer going to have a job, they're going to kill the petroleum industry and all that. Okay? Even if I didn't think of the Democrats as libtards and useful idiots, like my dad calls them, and, my mom has no use for Democrats whatsoever. Even if my parents were not as pro-Trump as they are. Okay, well, there is one glaring reason that I voted or just, continued my history of voting Republican. And I really don't care what anyone thinks of it. Well, you know how I've been making videos for the past 9 months about these stupid idiot boys? I'm not going to name names, but they're younger than my little sister. Yet they've been trying to gaslight me regarding this character and what I know that she did in her pants, okay? There she is, dropping a big old load of stinky in her pants, and you'll never convince me otherwise. You will never convince me otherwise, okay? So, basically, for the past, say, 6, 9, 12 months, I've been making videos and, losing sleep and being very angry about that whole subject matter of, people wanting to believe, that because this character is some kind of a goddess in their mind, even though she's 3 years old and she clearly has a padded look about her butt. They want to believe that for some strange reason, she just, for whatever reason, she would never poop in her pants, even though she had diarrhea and she hadn't used the toilet in over a day and she ate like a hog. Somehow or another the poop just wouldn't come out of her because I guess they think girls don't poop or, princesses don't poop, whatever. So even if I were going to vote for the first time in my life for a Democrat, which I wasn't, even if I truly believed all this crap about Donald Trump being a racist and, all these, whatever they want to say about him, he's this, he's that, he's the other, and by the way, it's not Donald Trump so much that I voted for, but the Republican Party and the values that it represents. I don't really care, if Trump isn't Mr. Perfect or whatever. I don't really care. Because it's not so much the person, Donald Trump, as the values of the Republican Party, that I believe in, the Christian family values, just like my mom thought Mitt Romney was a good Christian family man. That's what I'm voting for. It's not so much the person, being Mr. Wonderful, it's just the party and what it represents, So even if for the first time in my entire life I wanted to vote blue, okay? Well, like I said, those stupid idiot people that have been trying to gaslight me for the past however many months, however long I've been making these videos, or I don't even know. The people that just cannot accept that in the truest sense that this character exists, she literally crapped her pants on more than one occasion. Okay? Those same people are, very... They've made it very clear that they hate Donald Trump and they want Biden just because he's the opposition, okay? Now, why anyone who is not American would have an interest in American politics is totally beyond comprehension for me, okay? Why a Canadian or a European would care about American politics is just not something I understand. Because, see, I don't tell them who their prime minister should be, so why do they care about our president? Well, anyway, so the same people that would try to tell me that, this little girl would never poop in her pants, or that she wore panties even though they were never seen in Rugrats history. Okay, never once does she show the outside of her panties, let alone the inside, to prove that they were clean. Okay, so these same people that have been doing this, gaslighting me and whatever, 4chan, Reddit, YouTube, like, I don't even know, maybe Twitter even, I don't even know, like, where to begin, with all the that's why I don't allow comments on my cartoon videos, okay? So, those same people hate Donald Trump with a passion, okay? And so even if, like I say, even if I wanted Joe Biden, which personally, there are 5 letters that describe how I feel at this point. IDGAF, okay? And all I can tell you is that the first 4 letters stand for I don't give a, okay? So that's how I feel at this point. I did my part. I voted for Trump. My parents voted for Trump. Hopefully my sister did too. Although she acts like voting is the last thing she cares about. So basically my cousins probably all voted for Trump too. Okay, so I did my part. I voted for Trump, kept Texas red, or helped keep Texas red, which I'm totally disappointed in Texas becoming a swing state. So yeah, it's like, at this point, I want Trump to win, but hey, if it's Joe Biden, it's Joe Biden. Hey, it's really, like I say, I don't really believe the president is as powerful as people think of him as being, number one. And, I also don't think the parties are quite as different, because if they were truly different, you wouldn't have elections that are this close. You know what I'm saying? If the parties were truly that different, it would have already been decided. So I really don't think my life is going to change that much. My parents think, oh, we just lost our country, Oh, my dad's kind of drinking more than usual to try to get his mind off of it. So, I'm not going to be mad at the world, but I would prefer it to be Trump. Mainly because, I have a bigger problem with Kamala Harris than Joe Biden, but I'm not going to really discuss that. But, so anyway, the people that are trying to gaslight me and tell me that I'm wrong, about this character and what I've been saying for the past 9 months are the same people who hate Trump. Okay, so that in and of itself, even if, there were no other reason that I were voting for Trump, that right there, would bump me over the edge. Okay? Because if I'm going to change what I believe about this movie and this character, it would be in the direction of that was just one of the many times that she pooped her pants. Okay? That's just a day in the life for her. Okay? If I'm going to change how I believe about it, I will start to believe that maybe she did it more than once in the movie. Who knows? Maybe that's why she was even dressed like an island princess in the first place. Maybe she had to get out of her shoes because she crapped her pants another time earlier in the movie. And, who knows? I mean, maybe, if I'm going to change what I believe, I'm going to look back and say, wow, maybe she did it more times than that. Maybe there were some incidents that we don't know about. You know what I'm saying? Like, seriously, it's like, how do you know she didn't crap her pants in any other instance? I mean, like I say, unless and until you can show me the inside of her panties and prove that they were clean, or that she even wore panties in the first place. I'm more likely to look back and say, hey, this character wasn't even potty trained in the first place. She probably wore diapers to begin with, so, that's just what diapers are for. So anyway, that right there, would have bumped me over the edge, even if I were considering not voting for Trump. The mere fact that those kind of people and these F to M transgenders, they are also another group of people that hate Trump. The mere fact that, the people that hate Trump are often of the mindset that, your genitals don't determine what sex you are, that in and of itself is enough reason for me to support Trump. The fact that, I feel like the right, is the party of justice and truth. Whereas the left, the loony left, as my parents call it, is the one that believes that you can change your sex if you don't like it. It's like, rather than admit that they're just an ugly butch lesbian, they'd rather change what it means to be a man. And I am basically fed up with that kind of logic, you know, this I think therefore I am mentality. You know, and I have a lot more respect for the real men that stand up and say, no, you're not going to change what it means to be a man. You know what I'm saying? Um, I would much rather have someone like Donald Trump, you know, that, I mean, so what if he grabs women by the P-double-S-Y? I mean, at least he's not grabbing men by the B-A-double-L-S. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I have a lot more respect for the right and the way it believes, because I feel like it's on the side of truth and justice and honor and all the things that I care about. You know what I'm saying? American values, Christian values, and not, you know, I think therefore I am mentalities. So yeah, it's like I just even like I say, I mean, it was already pretty much determined. I mean, if I voted for him in 2016, you know, I mean, why would I change now? Um, so yeah, it's like I don't like I say, I mean, it's not gonna make or break my life, you know, if he doesn't win. But I have my reasons, and I don't regret it one bit that I voted for Trump. And you know, really and truly, I mean, you know, Trump winning is not gonna just magically save the world. And another thing I have is a little bit of show and tell. You know, I'll probably end up throwing these away. These little cars that we got, that they actually had a burger and fries in them, and on the bumper, or on the license plate, it says 1958. Okay, so all these idiots that want to call me a pedophile and a pervert and all that, well, you see that? That is the birth year of the voice actress who does this little girl. That little girl right there. In real life, she was born in 1958. Okay? And there's a red version of it, which there's a little bit of food in them, so I'll probably get rid of them before the ants take over the apartment. So, you know, here's some little cars. And really and truly, more than a Trump victory, I'd like a time machine that would bring me back to the days when these cars were brand new. So yeah, I mean, yes, I realize that the little girl, or, you know, the real human being behind the little girl would never poop in her pants in real life. And, you know, I mean, since way before Nickelodeon ever existed. Of course, she's never pooped in her pants in real life because she's, you know, an adult in the real world, okay, just like all the other characters, okay? But in the truest sense that she exists as a 3-year-old fictional character, you'll never convince me that she didn't crap her pants, okay? And you'll never convince me that Chucky didn't, okay? He also crapped his pants on more than one occasion. So yeah, the mere fact that, you know, the same kind of idiots, you know, that hate Trump, you know, are also transgender people and those that are trying to gaslight me regarding what I know about the show and movie, that in and of itself is all the reason I needed to vote how I did.